Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for coming back to join me. I just wanted to do a little bit more work on my Italian tall journal. I've put some fabric down the middle there, and I think I'm actually going to put fabric on the outside of it because this is going to be the actual cover. And I'm always worried that when it's just a paper cover, paper and card, that it's not going to wear, that it's going to wear away. So I think I might end up putting some fabric down on that cover. Um, I'm not sure. Oh, I did do something after you left me last time. I hope you can see okay. I've made a journal card to go in the pocket that we did. I've moved the envelope further back. That's on there now. That was the one that we did last time. So that's there. And I've put one of the double twisted papers on there. I had an extra copy of what was on the front cover, and I've just put some vellum, so that can actually be a tuck spot both sides if you want to. I have to say this is getting quite a chunky, it is already chunky, look, a bit too chunky maybe, but there we go, that's the way it's turning out. I've put a journal card in just there, and the one that we left, that we made together, this flip out one, I've left it as a big pocket there, but I have actually stitched it and made it into a double pocket. So there's a pocket there and there's a pocket there, and that bit then flips out. So you can still write on this or put something on it, but that was what I chose to do in the end. I don't think I wanted to leave that to write on, so I think the owl will go on that page. I don't think I'd done any more. I put this envelope in, and I think that was all that I've done. But as I say, it is getting to be quite chunky. So what I would like to do now is I want to make something to go in the front cover here. And I've been debating what to do. I want to put something that will flip open. I've got it. This is just an envelope. That's the original. It was one of the big envelopes that you get through. So I've just cut it open and decided where I want it. So I think that I want it to flip open. I don't need that extra bit on there, that can come off. So it will flip open and it'll have a window there. I'm trying to debate whether it's too close to the spine, so that when you've got your journal in, whether that is going to be too tight I think you could get a journal card in there. So I think that's perhaps what I'll do. I was going to put one in the top, but then I thought it's going to have to be such a tall, skinny one. But then I can make a tall, skinny one. I would prefer it to go from the top because I just feel it's too close to the spine. Right, we'll think about that as we do it. So I want to cover this envelope to make it into a pocket. And I want to put this on the front, this book belongs to, but I would like it to be a flip so that it says this book belongs to, and then it flips up. That's what I want to do. So I thought it would be nice to have some of Rachel's Renaissance papers on here. I will have to cut it slightly short because I want to use these and they're not quite long enough. But that's okay, but I would cut it from the bottom because I don't want to lose the envelope. So I can afford to cut a little bit off there, so that's fine. So I was debating whether to use that one, so that it flips up and you've got that lady there. That might be quite nice, mightn't it? Or this is one of my favourite ones from the Renaissance papers. That one. And then it would have that, but the dogs aren't going to all fit on, so they're going to fold around the page. So I think that I am going to go with this one. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stick it on and then cut it off when I know. See, I'm thinking, aren't I? Can you hear the cogs whirring? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it, and at the end of the day, all that it is an envelope. And I'm sure I can find another envelope and reprint something if I don't like it when it's done, or if it doesn't work out. So how are you all? I'm gonna I want this to go around the back slightly. because I don't want you to see the envelope. And you may have noticed that because I want that on the inside, I've just folded the envelope inside out. You know, you can fold it anyway, can't you? So I'm going to badly fold that. I'm going to very badly fold that. There we go, that's better. I'm going to fold that like that. And that will go on there like so. So do you know what I might do? I think that I might glue that on there first. Am I going to regret that? Probably. I think I might. I think I will. Glue. I'm going to put my glue on here. Hope I'm in frame and you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually, a couple of these videos won't go out until probably a week after I've made them. I'm trying to get ahead with some videos. I've got so many projects in my mind that I want to do. And if I video as I'm making a journal, I'd never keep up with myself, if you see what I mean. So that's going to go on there like that. Then this bottom bit, I'll either cut off, or I could put something else on there, couldn't I? And then I want to glue it onto here. Didn't get that very straight, did I? But that's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to glue on there. So I think that I will just put a glue page under there and add my glue onto this. So I've got in my head how I want this to look. Whether it looks like it when I've done is, of course, a completely different matter. We can hope, can't we? So move my sticky paper, and I'm just going to open that onto it and squash it down. And I'm looking for a squishy card, something I can squash that down with. Excuse me reaching over you folks. I'm just going to squish that down there, like that. The trouble with this will be I'll be wanting to fold it before the glue is dry, and we know how that ends up, don't we? Now, when that's folded under, I want this to be on the top here. So to make it nice and neat, where's that fold there? I'm going to stick that on the front like that from the back, so that I can cover this messy bit up. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm going to put my glue on there like that. Put the lid on my glue. So then that will be a flip up. That works. Happy with that. And so then this, I want to fold over and glue on there, like so. Now I know that I'm going to cut this lady off. Sorry, could you hear the cogs whirring then? If I could find my cutting board. Do you know, I've only just turned the camera on and things have gone missing already. Oh, it's here. I've hidden it. I hid it. I'm going to cut this lady off at that frame. And I might need to add some paper onto that other. What would be really cool would be if that lady could be a journaling card in there. She might be. it'd be a very thin one, but I'm going to hang on to that because that might work. So now this doesn't meet the edge. I knew it wouldn't. But I can put some extra paper on there, can't I? What would I put? That's the thing, isn't it? What would we put? I've got some scraps and things. I've got lots of scraps and things. That might go on there. I'm just gonna go with it, folks. That's not gluey. Right, I'm going to put the glue on this paper. Glue, glue, glue. I might end up having to stitch around this, who knows. So then I'm going to fold that over and hope for the best. Let me just flip that flip up while I squidge this down. That is just ever so slightly peeking over there. Scissors. Sorry, I'm not even looking to see if I'm on screen. I'm sure that I'm going about this in a difficult way. I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this. So that's, I don't want to fold that until it's a bit drier, but that's squidged down there. That could go on there, because it doesn't matter if I cover this up slightly, because it's not going to open, so you're not going to see any white. So let's do it. Let's do it. And then I'll just find some bits and bobs to fill in. I'm going to do it a little bit higher. Just so that I can turn it over and just reinforce, because I'm going to put the tag from the top, aren't I? So that's that in there. That's a pity that isn't a bit longer, isn't it? But I think that can go on there. A tear ruler, any tear ruler will do. I'm going to put that on there. Sorry, I'm just thinking that I'm going to put the glue for that on this bit. And I'll tell you for why. I'm going to put that on there. Like that. And I'm going to cut this bit down, because it can be, if it's going to be, oops, sorry folks, if this is going to be a pocket, I want a little hinge on it, don't I? I want a little flap, so that it'll fold backwards, so that I can get something in and out of that pocket. So I'm not going to glue that down, because that's going to be my flap, my hinge, whatever you want to call it. Call it what you will. That bit can be glued. I don't know if this is making any sense to anybody. I'm making it up as I go along. I think that's what we do a lot of, isn't it? And I think I might need to get this to lay flat a bit before I put it in. And I think we'll have a bit of blue. No, I want it to go over, don't I? So I need something wider than that. I like that bit. Being fussy, aren't I, with little scraps. Oops, that's sometimes why it's just good to save your scraps though, because you just never know when you're going to need just that little bit to fit in somewhere. So that can go on there, and then that bit can go over that edge. Okay. Now, I want to cover this bit, definitely. How raggedy do I want it to be? Might be all right. And again, I'm going to save a little bit from the bottom, just so I can fold it under to be that hinge again. Oh, I've got some of this. I wonder if this would go from there. It would. But I want it to have a torn edge. And it is sideways. Does that matter? Ooh, that's nice. Lucy, I'm going through my little scraps of paper now and seeing all sorts that I quite like. I think that's going to go there. I'm just mindful that the paper that I've got, the first page of the journal, is blue. So I want to include some blue in this bit. Sound like I know what I'm doing, don't I? If you believe that, you believe anything, folks. Right. I'm going to put that on there. And silly me, I've glued it all. I didn't mean to do that. But that can go on there. I'm going to have to leave this to dry, aren't I? I'm using my... Don't use these scissors for glue. Glue. Okay. Does this make any sense to anybody? I'm hoping that it does. And then this, I want... Just thinking what else I've got. Just checking my scraps. Honestly, you would not believe these. That's quite nice, isn't it? I wonder if that would reach. It doesn't have to be the same front and back, does it? Might go. I think I quite like that, actually. I'm going to tear this with sticky fingers. Gosh, we're up to 18 minutes already. I knew this would take me a while to do, so I'm sorry if it's taking longer than you'd like. I apologise. But I am going as quick as I can. But I don't want to have to do it again. I want it to look nice. It looks like she's coming out of that then, doesn't it? So I like that. I'm just going to glue it and hang the consequences, because I know I shouldn't glue it all. But there we go, it's done. It's done. It's all glued. I'm going to put that on there, up sticky. Like that. I'm going to fold it over like that. Oh, and the end's not torn, look. I'm going to tear that little bit carefully. that. Sticky, sticky, sticky. A little bit of glue there. Oh, throw my glue away. Okay, so that's going to fold over like that, and that's going to fold under like that, and that will be the hinge. I wonder if I can put that fold in now. Maybe if I crease it on the scoreboard. Did anybody see where I put the scoreboard? Tell you what, let me just put these papers away 1 minute. Okay folks, found my scoreboard, and I've just scored down there as carefully as I could so that we can get an idea of what I've been doing. So hopefully it'll make sense to you. So those edges will turn up because they're going to be the flippy flaps that make it into the pocket on those two sides, like that. So that will go on there like that. That will be a flip up so that you can put something on there if you want to. That will open like so. And yes, there's a crease in there, and it's because I've opened it when it's wet, but it won't be. It won't be. Because I'll flatten it like that and then I'll leave it to dry. And then it's going to stick on there because I've left those on there to be the hinges, and it will be a tuck down there. So I think that works quite nicely, and I'm happy with that. But I am going to have to leave it to dry. But before I leave it to dry, I'm just going to measure that and just see if we can do anything with that lady. So 3 inches. I only want it to be tiny totty, don't I? Because I'm going to put a hinge down the other side, or I don't know what you call them. So if I make it no more than 2.5 to 2 3/4 inches, let me move that out the way. And her face is going to need to be in there, so I can cut a little bit off this edge. I'll leave a little bit on there. If I cut it at 3 inches to start with, I know that's going to be too wide, but I can get a rough idea then, can't I? So that will slip in there, doop-de-doop-de-doop. Oh gosh, I do like that very much. It's a little bit short, but I can add some paper on the end of that, and then she's going to peek out of that window, look. So if I take any off, I will take it off this side. But that is going to be the tag that goes in that window in the front. Okay. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense to you all. Hoping so anyway. What else have I been doing? I thought, dangerous thoughts, that I've done that. We did that. I haven't stitched around that yet. That's going to stick on there and be a tag on there. Or it could be a tag on there. I think I want it to be a tag on there. So that's going to go on there. Need something in there. I'm not putting anything on there. This I thought could be a flip out. More at the top, because it's got quite heavy at the bottom. So for that to be a flip out, it hasn't got a tag in it yet. That's just an envelope, folded paper that I've made. And I think that I could do that as a flip out. I don't want all that fabric on it. But that would be on there like so, and then it goes over the other side. So I'm going to put my, this is batik fabric, so with batiks I usually find that there's no right or wrong side. They're both equally as bright and breezy. So I'm going to put some glue whoopsie, down there. And I'm going to stick that on there, like that, just like that. And this glue is actually quite strong. I don't really want to stitch this for the simple reason that it would make the pocket even smaller than it is, because when you're working on these tall journals, you are kind of space limited what you can do, but this glue is very strong, I would say. So that will go on there and it will come over onto there, like so. And I don't mind that on there actually. So let's get rid of that there a minute, because I want it to be nice and flat. And the reason I want it to be a flip is so that you've got all this space to write on. I don't want to cover everything up. I want it a little bit down. There we go. That's where it's going to be. Okay. And I probably will stitch this bit of fabric on, only because that's where you're going to get more of the strain, because it's going to be the flip part of it. I don't mind that fabric on there. A bit sticky. So then we've got that there, and then that will flip out there. And I am going to stitch on here. I'm not going to stitch this bit because I know that will be safe enough. So one moment while I stitch this. Okay, did you miss me? So I've stitched, I don't know if you can see, I've zigzagged down there. Now, people have asked me how I stitch these bits on. Excuse me. Now, when I'm sewing fabric onto paper, I stitch it from the paper side, because if you notice, when you stitch through paper, if you stitched that way, you get the bits of paper punched on here and it makes it rough. But if you stitch it with the fabric down and the paper up, it's a lot smoother and you don't get that rough bit on the fabric side. So I don't know if that's helpful to anybody. It may be, it may not be, but that's what I do. So I need to put a tag in there, but that just flips out like that. And then on this side, we made this, I think I'm not high enough, are you? I've enclosed myself. That is going to be a flip on there, like that, and then that will be a tuck just there. So I want to put, and I think we made this together last time, or the time before. I never get them central. I'm not worried. I'm not going to worry. Is that level? Is it level, she asks. Not ever so. I don't know. Actually, yes, it is. It is level. Don't go trimming it, Carol. So that's going to go on there and be a flippy outie. So I'm going to glue it on 3 sides. I'm not going to glue the side with the notch in, because that's where we're going to put a journal card or something. So I don't want to glue that. And again, I want to, can you see the patterns on the papers that Rachel has? I don't want to cover them up. So that goes there. So it's glued, and it's glued. And that is just fine. So that can go back in. So that's those 2 done. I'm not far off being ready just to make tags for this, so this will probably be the last video. How am I doing for time? 30 minutes. I had someone's alarm's going. I had, make sure that's sticked. I was going to put this on this page. Well, because I've done that flip, no, that flips on that side of the signature, so the back of it on there. My idea with that is that it would be a pocket here, so a downwards pocket there, again for a slim tag, and then on the back this would be a flip out pocket there. And I thought you might like to see how I made it. This is a bit, I suppose it's a variation on what Rachel's been doing, and it's something that I do a lot of as well. I think Rachel mentioned that I do a lot of these pockets. So I'm just going to put, I'm bumping you, aren't I? I'm just going to put a bit of ink there and just close this one up so that we can see what we've got. We don't need this to be such a big hinge to close that up. We only need a little one. In fact, they're all quite big, aren't they? And on this, so that's that's right, this one, I take that one off of there. You open something up and you forget how you've made it, don't you? Right, so then I'm just going to trim that there, and I'm going to trim that there. These will fold down on all three because they're all going to be pockets, aren't they? 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to glue those down. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this one is going across like that. So I only need one of these bottoms on it. So one of them is going to fold up. And I usually go with the same one that's with that. So I can cut a smidgen off there, only because they're just a little bit long. And then that one in the middle, I'm going to carefully cut off. Shove those bits on the floor. The cleaner will clean them up when she's finished. Okay, so that folds up like that. That's going to go across like that. And that's going to be a flap pocket. So I can close this pocket up. And hopefully it'll make sense to you. And I'll fold one with you as well, because I think I've said before, I want to try and keep a spare of what we make. Only because I forget what I do. So that's going to go across like that. And that's going to go like that. Let's get the page out. That's a bit easier. So the way that it goes on is that will go on there like that. So I can cut a little notch in there. Like so. Not central. Come on, Carol. Do better than that. That's better. So that will go on there like so and be a top loading pocket there. And then on this side, it will flap out. And so I could do with it having a notch on here as well. I didn't think of that, did I? And I might just put a notch both sides actually. Just little ones. Okay, so where do we want it? How high up? I think that's about right. So if we put a tag in there and one in there. I mean, you could do it on, have it as a side loading, but it's just, because this is so narrow, you can't really get things in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down here. Like that. And then I'm going to put glue on these. I'm trying to hold it in place because I don't want it to move. And then that is going to close like that. So it's glued down there, glued there, and it's glued up there. So that will be a pocket on there. I've got glue all over me, look, all over me. And then there, it's going to be a pocket like that. Now, if you didn't want to see that, you could put some washi tape or something on, but I'm not going to do anything whilst it's wet. And I may well leave it because I've inked that little bit so you can't see it. But I'm happy with that. And I think while I'm here, I will stick this pocket on here. And then that's that one on and done as well. So let's stick that one on. As I say, it is quite a full journal. I haven't put it all the way at the bottom because I wanted to see a little bit of the straw paper there. And then that just needs backing, and that's going to go in there. Happy with that. Happy, happy. Okay, should we just quickly flip through this and then we'll go back to the front pocket. You see how big and chunky it's getting, can't you? So I want to put a tag or something in there. We've got that. A pull for that. We did that one. We've got that. Did that. Need something in there. I might put something in there, I might not. I just like the effect of it. A journal card to go in there. Put those in there and that flips. We've got a belly band just there. I've put a document in. Tall pocket there. I'm leaving that plain. That won't crease when it's backed. It's because I'm flipping it around. I need a card to go in there. I need a card to go in that bit there. I might try and run a stitch down there. I'm unsure. Put that little envelope on there. That just flips out. There we've got the centre. That flips out and there'll be a card in there. There's a pocket just there. This one we've done, so there's the pocket there that's going to be just a tall thin tag in there, and then that flips out there. I'm debating whether to put that in there or not. I thought it might go on the back page, the back cover of the book. So I'm going to take that out for a minute because I thought that'd be nice to write on. That on there, leave that plain. We've got this that I was going to do as a flip out. That won't be too bulky, so I may well still do that. That needs backing. There's a little tuck spot just there. I don't think I'm going to put anything in those. I just like to see them. We've got that there. I was going to make that into a pocket, so I will do that. I did have, oh, it's here. I had my little daisy that I'm going to put on there. Let's just put a paper clip so because it keeps falling out, just so that that's going to be the pull. That, and we're at the end. Okay, so it is chunky, it is big. It is big. Oh gosh, I didn't expect it to get quite that chunky. So with this one, so what I was thinking was I might put this in the back like that. And if I put it there, it could still be a tuck just there if you wanted it to be. So that might well go in there. So I'm just going to put that on there. And then this little beauty, if it's dry, I'm going to actually put it under a book page or under some heavy books just to press it. So that's going to go, can you see me? That's going to go there like that. That flips up like that. It will open like that, and there'll be a tall tag in there. And I'm pleased with that. This, you know, you can write on this space as well. So I don't think I can fit much more in this, to be honest. There we go. And that is that one big fat chunky monkey. I might need to put it all under a book to press it, mightn't I? So that's it. The next one you see will probably be a flip through. Give you a warning now so that the people that don't want to see a flip through don't have to watch. But thank you so much for coming to watch. I do appreciate your company. I hope you like what you see, and I will be back. Take care all. Bye.